The question today is, how do you forgive someone who hurt you? Well, first of all, I want you to know that sometimes when someone hurts me, the last thing on my mind is thinking of forgiving them. We all know that people hurt people, and what we got to understand are two things. Number one, that when someone hurts you, the war is not against flesh and blood. And me hating someone or hurting them back, it ain't going to help anybody. And actually, the real issue is spiritual principalities and powers of darkness. So I need to pray for me, pray for that person, that whatever the enemy is trying to do that's negative, that is not of God, and feelings and emotions and mentality and sin that is coming by that hurt, to eradicate that. Search me, God. Get that out of me. Get those negative thoughts out of me. Now, not just to put that aside and let not any more evil be bred by the evil doing, if you will, or thoughts, but also to come to the peace of God. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm asking you to be friends with your enemy, but don't be an enemy to your enemy. Instead, be a prayer warrior for your enemy one day. I know that we don't want to pray for those people, but in the end, it's a commandment. The second thing about forgiveness is, if you haven't learned to forgive, then you will not be forgiven. But it's actually the reverse. When I understand how much God has forgiven me of my debt and my sin, who am I not to forgive you of your sin against me? If I owe someone $1 million and they forgive me of my debt, and you owe me $1, and I'm forgiven of my debt, but I don't forgive you of your debt of $1, then I don't really know and understand the value of the forgiveness that I've received, thus then not knowing the Jesus that I proclaim. So when I proclaim the Jesus who forgave me and who forgets all of my sin, that's when I can say, God, I know you forgive me. I know you have called me by name. You have a plan for me. And I know that someone hurt me. Help me, God, to forgive them as you have forgiven me. And sometimes it takes months. Sometimes it takes counsel. Sometimes it takes a conversation. Sometimes it takes years for you to come to a place to say, I actually feel like I can forgive them. You can't just pray things away. So maybe talk to someone. Ask someone to pray for you for this. Because when you have unforgiveness on your heart, all you're doing is carrying a load that you don't need to carry. So it's a process. So take time. Talk to someone if you need to. And just know that as an evangelist, Nick Vujicic sometimes took years to forgive some people. We all are human. We all get hurt, and we all need time. Time doesn't heal everything, but when you allow time in your relationship with God to penetrate even those rooms that are dark and rooms we don't ever want to remember or go back to, when we do go there and we do allow Jesus to lead us there, it's only because he wants you to be set free, free indeed.